My name is Livia Bolanca, and at Birrong Girls High School I work as a head teacher of teaching quality, and I'm an English teacher. I was identified as a best-in-class teacher through RAP data analysis. I've been very successful in my classroom, so I was invited to apply for the Teaching Quality Advisor job with the HSC Strategy, and I won it on merit selection. So I'm working in the English team, and we design and deliver PL across the state.
Livia, she's an incredible teacher, instructional leader. The benefit for Livia has been that she's had the opportunity to grow, but also to share her capacity and her skills with the rest of the state, which is really vital.
I'm actually catapulted out of my comfort zone every time I work in the HSC Strategy. My organisational skills have developed. I've become more confident in my speaking to wider audiences, not just in the little safe space in my classroom.
It's gotten a lot harder. Yeah, lots of admin. The workload, it has quadrupled probably since the 90s.
I think it stretched me as a leader, as a state leader. I'm loving every minute of it. Networking with colleagues outside of my school, I've made lifelong friendships. And at my age, you don't expect to make these deep friendships, anymore. And it's such a gift. Working so collaboratively with really high-performing teachers, I've learned so much from them. I've been challenged in how I teach. I'm not as bogged down in content, but looking at pedagogy and really delivering high-quality lessons that are purposeful and tailored to the needs of my students. I'm going to play devil's advocate and argue against the fact that there is no catharsis in this play. I'm going to say there is a moment of catharsis.
Yes.
Good. In terms of my teaching practice, it was explicit before, but what it's done is it's actually made me more purposeful in my teaching. It's given me a clearer direction. So I believe that I can actually get the students to demonstrate conceptual and perceptive thinking through personal voice, which is the discriminating feature for English, much more effectively and quickly. Okay, Bannon, is there a moment of catharsis in this play?
I genuinely believe that there is.
Where is it?
As you say, firstly, you said that catharsis is a release of an emotion, right?
Yes.
As a contemporary audience, we have that release of emotion.
Absolutely, happens to us, but my question was in the play. I knew how to read better responses, I knew to give them better marks, but I couldn't qualify it or quantify it. I couldn't say why. The discriminating feature now can actually give us specific things to look for. English can't be marked like a checklist, but there are certain characteristics that are typical of the upper bands, and now that we can identify them and teach other people about them is a game changer for me.
She's been able to understand the impact of her own personal pedagogy and the way that other people can apply really specific, explicit processes and practices. So it's no longer a mystery about how you get fantastic HSC results. There is a tried and true practice.
It was my team teacher Kelly Andrews and myself that won the Minister's Award for Excellence in Teaching. So our advanced class, we had 100% achievement of band 5s and 6s, and the reason we got that was the high leverage strategies. When Kelly and I got those results, when we saw how well they did, we said, yay, for 5 seconds, and we said, okay, what can we do differently? It becomes addictive. When you get your band 5s and 6s, when you see that growth, you just become intoxicated. You want to keep lifting.
Miss Bolanca, I've always called her, was my teacher, my English teacher in year 11 and 12. She's one of the reasons I really got into writing, and I think part of it is genuinely wanting to see kids do well and doing everything that you can to support them. Nothing really felt impossible when you spoke to Miss Bolanca about it. Things just felt like if you worked hard and you wanted to do something, then there was a way to do it.
I'm more confident at stepping away and letting them take ownership of their own learning. So my classroom has become a lot more student-centred than it used to be. What are the parts of that poem that just strike you, even if you don't understand all of it? What lines tickle your brain? I've also gotten really good at sharing that practice with other people, and not only in English, but across subject disciplines.
And I think it's really important that we always remember that our contributions are not just about the students that are sitting in front of us in a classroom, it's also about the contributions that are made to the system as a whole.
I've taken the model of the HSC strategy and tailored it to the needs of my school. And I love that I can bring that back to my school because my school's been good to me. We want you to move from the establishing shots or the wider angle view to the zooming in and how those parts of your narrative interrelate.
That's where we've got to go. We've really got to dig deep here.
Why have I been identified as a best-in-class teacher? Because of the previous teachers before me and the support that I get at my school.
What we have as a very, very healthy pedagogical culture because it's about sharing, it's about open classrooms, there's no judgment.
We've got a lot of EALD students that come from diverse backgrounds and they're quite conservative. Their parents are very protective. I had a student in Extension who wrote her first book. Her name is Vivian Fan and she wrote The Coconut Children and she wrote that while she was at school.
I remember the launch of the book and Miss Bolanca, of course, sat in the front row and I was kind of looking at her the whole time. It's the way that she walks into a room and immediately makes it extremely bright so that there's no way that you're not going to focus because she sees you not just as a student, she sees you as a whole person or someone that wants to become someone.
And she's just such a humble, young Vietnamese girl, low SES, but her talent, not just her talent, her achievements, because of her humble attitude, her humility. I say to the girls, if she can do it, you can do it. So what I need to do in my role is actually challenge their worldview, challenge them to think outside the box.
So I want to give back to my school to be better at what we do because ultimately we want to change the lives of young people.
So this is a poem I wrote for Miss Bolanca in January of 2022, so over 2 years ago now. It's called Love Lucidity for Livia. We must love and lucid dream and remember we are stolen starlight from the death of night. With some, it is a faint connection, observable only through telescopes. Not her. She is a fistful of dainty fire, naked to the eye. She is the first artistic impulse after a million years wasted in the dark. When she was born, it was the world that opened its eyes.